Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next two house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105. Or get yourself a quick quote, even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
All right, Conrad, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. You think you'll get that microphone going today?
Yeah, I got it. How does this sound? Does this sound better?
Well, you're not on the microphone, you see. You've got your StreamYard setting where it's going right through your PC. But if you'll click the microphone icon at the bottom, it will allow you to select microphone.
I tested that out earlier.
Well, listen, folks, we sound how we sound. There's a lot going on this week. We're fired up. All In is just a few days away. Tony, this might be actually the biggest week of wrestling of the year, just wrestling as a whole, but certainly the biggest AEW show in the history of America, the first stadium show, the largest gate in American history. Listen, critics are always going to find something to bitch about, but my goodness, what a celebration for AEW this week, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Conrad. Sound better?
No, you're still the same, but I mean, tell us about All In. We'll worry about sounding good another time.
No, we need to worry about it now. But yes, All In is going to be tremendous. And I'm really excited about what we have. I'm really excited about the matches. I'm really excited about the effort that we've put into it. Not only with the pay-per-view coming up on Saturday, but starting tonight, of course, as we drop. This is going to be a Wednesday night live collision from Garland, Texas. Wednesday night live Dynamite from Garland, Texas. A Thursday night live collision from Garland, Texas.
Come on.
Then we got, of course, we got Friday and Saturday. We got Starrcade and the big event on Saturday. So it's been quite an effort for all of us, and I'm really excited about it.
Man, me too. I'm pumped up for this card. If you haven't already, we hope you make plans to join us. Tony's going to be at Starrcade. I'm going to be at Starrcade, and you should too. It's happening on Friday, the 11th. That's this Friday at the Sheraton in Arlington. Now, I know not everybody knows this, but I feel like I should just remind you. The Esports Arena, where the Ring of Honor pay-per-view is going to happen, is literally in the same parking lot as the Sheraton in Arlington. So we want you to come have a great day with us. We've got a who's who of AEW, and I mean some of their very top stars. Wouldn't it be cool to meet Okada or Swerve and Dan? We've got them all lined up, and you can't check it out fast enough. Go grab a bracelet right now because, Tony, I don't know that you've heard this, but we've got a special promotion where one person who's selected a bracelet, whether it's gold or platinum, you're automatically entered. Not only do you get access to all the great meet and greets from the great stars of AEW and the legends and Hall of Famers of yesteryear on both Friday and Saturday, not only do you get seating for all of our different panels across 2 days, but you also are automatically upgraded if you win our very special drawing. One lucky winner is going to have their seats for All In upgraded to a ringside floor seat, and that's not enough. Immediately following the pay-per-view, you'll get a backstage tour, something money can't buy. It's not for sale. It's never happened before. You're even going to get a ringside seat for the press conference. That's right. You're going to sit in the room for the post-game presser. And most importantly, after that, you get, and something that's never been offered before, a personal meet and greet with Tony Khan. How cool is that, Tony?
That is really cool. Just a little word of advice, though. If you win it, do not speak to Taz. Let him speak to you first.
That's a great call. Don't make eye contact with him either.
No.
Unless you are asking for a rub and tug Jones, but that is another question. Today we're watching Great American Bash 1985, and we hope that you'll make plans to join us. We've got a description today, and inside that description, you'll find a link to YouTube, because believe it or not, and Tony was shocked as shit, there is indeed a WCW YouTube channel. Of course, this is owned and operated by the WWE, but I, for one, am glad that they're actually making use of some of this stuff and deciding, hey, let's just pop it up on YouTube. I have a feeling, Tony, that maybe their contracts with Peacock and so forth, they require that WWE content, meaning WWE branded content, appear here and there exclusively. But YouTube, I don't know how it works, but I'm just so thankful that they're posting a lot of WCW stuff on here. I'm a big fan of YouTube and them posting stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm glad they finally got up off their ass and did something. So that's good stuff.
Wow. Okay. Well, we hope you'll get up off your ass and click the link for Great American Bash 1985. We're going to start at 53 minutes and 13 seconds. 53 minutes and 13 seconds. Tony, I'm looking forward to this almost as much as I'm looking forward to the pay-per-view this weekend. As we mentioned, we're going to see the very first stadium show in AEW history. And there's a stacked card, no doubt. I mean, realistically, this is arguably the greatest card in the history of AEW. But one of the things I wanted to touch on specifically were some of the different matches that we've got. Like, we know for sure that we're going to see a men's casino gauntlet match. And we also know that Mark Briscoe, MJF, and Mystico are a part of that. Now, the winner is guaranteed a world title shot. We're also going to have a women's casino gauntlet match. You got to wonder who's going to come out victorious in that one. But how about something that we never thought we would see because, well, it makes an interesting tag team, but maybe strange bedfellows. I'm talking about Swerve Strickland teaming up with Will Ospreay to take on the Young Bucks. Make no mistake, the Young Bucks are one of the all-time greatest tag teams. Certainly, if you're a reader of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, you know all about that. These guys always seemingly deliver on pay-per-view, and now you've got 4 of AEW's premier talent in a tag situation on pay-per-view. Sign me up for this. How about the AEW Tag Team 3-Way? We've got the Hurt Syndicate. Can anybody stop those dudes? They're going to be taking on Jet Speed and the Patriarchy. How about Adam Cole just announced with Kyle Fletcher for the TBS title? When the women step between the ropes, it'll be Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné for the AEW World title. But when it comes down to arguably what could be considered co-main events, I mean, hell, maybe there's 3 at this point. Kenny Omega is going to wrestle Okada. This is really, for all intents and purposes, the rubber match. Yes, this is technically their 4th match, but Kenny has 1 win. Okada has 1 win, and they have a draw. Whoever walks out victorious this Saturday afternoon, it really will be winner take all because Kenny's putting his international title on the line. Okada is putting his Continental Championship on the line. Someone is going to walk out, the brand new, the first ever AEW Unified Champion, but then the main event in a Texas death match, Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. You got to think Hangman Adam Page is coming in with that main character energy. Fans are pumped for this one, Tony. I know you're calling the show, so I'm putting you in a bad spot here. But do you think we're getting a new champion on Saturday afternoon?
I think there's a good chance as far as Moxley and Hangman are concerned.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance we're getting a new women's champion as well. I think of all the matches, I'm looking forward to Mercedes and Tony the most.
Really?
Yeah, I only because I have such profound respect for both women. And they have done a tremendous job of making women's wrestling what it is in AEW, I do believe. So I think women's wrestling right now is the best it's ever been in AEW. And I know we've had some great champions. I know we've had, but I really like what Timeless Toni Storm's doing, and obviously Mercedes has been great. So I'm looking forward to that match more than any. And I think we could have a new champion there, although I've been wrong before. And I'm going to put it out there again. I know probably half of you don't believe me, and I don't give a shit, but I don't really know who's going to win, who's going to lose, because I have not really been told, and I really don't care.
Well, that's why they have the fights, Tony. You know, I mean, we don't know who's going to win until they actually duke it out, and that's what's going to happen this weekend on pay-per-view. I don't know if you've seen, but right now, if you order with Amazon, you actually get a $10 credit so towards future purchases.
How about that?
A great product, a great opportunity. So, listen, we know that AEW always delivers on pay-per-view. Why not get yourself a discount? Order it on Amazon, or do what Tony and I are doing. Be in the building. I mean, let's just be honest. It's already been announced that next year's All In, which for all intents and purposes is the AEW equivalent of WrestleMania. It's back in Wembley. It's back in London. Right. This may be America's last chance. I mean, we don't know when it's coming back to have an All In here in America. It's a stadium show, the very first one. It's a big part of history. It's going to be the largest gate in the history of AEW in America. It's time for celebration. Come join us. It's one of the best values in wrestling. And it's on sale now at AEWTIX.com. That's how you get your tickets to the show. And, of course, why not make it a whole week? As you're listening to this program tonight, you can go see Dynamite. Tomorrow night, you can see Collision. On Friday, you've got Starrcast. Friday night, the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. And, of course, Starrcast again on Saturday. And who could forget All In? And as if that's it wasn't enough, I think there's even a wrestling show on Saturday night, Tony. Something going on NBC. Have you heard of this?
No.
Me neither. Without further
hang on a second. You can hear me now?
We've always been able to hear you, but you're not using your microphone. So every time you move in your chair or clear your throat, we're hearing it.
Okay, so I don't understand. Let me reboot my system here and talk amongst yourselves. How's that sound?
Sounds good, I guess. Let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to stop Tony from using bad microphones. And Stopbox is here to help you from making a mistake too. I'm a big believer in Stopbox. I have to admit, I used to have a lot of guns at my house. And then when I had little kids around, I thought, hey, man, this might not be the best option. Well, now I don't have to worry about that thanks to Stopbox. You see, if you own a gun for self-defense, your storage likely fits into one of two frustrating categories. It's either locked away, meaning it's safe, but it's out of reach in case of an emergency, or it's unsecured, which means it's being left vulnerable to anyone. Well, Stopbox USA saw the problem and designed a groundbreaking solution. We call it the Stopbox Pro. With the Stopbox Pro, you'll never have to choose between security and readiness. Its ingenious push-button locking system gives you fast, reliable access when every second matters. Without the hassle of keys or reliance on batteries, it's also 100% mechanical, so it works every time, no power needed. With Stopbox USA, you can finally have both security and readiness. The Stopbox Pro's mechanical keyless system allows for fast, secure access without the risk of fumbling around for keys when every second counts. It's also battery-free, so you never have to worry about your lock not working. I also want to mention that everything you're going to see at Stopbox USA is made right here in the USA. That means no tariffs. It also means that they're making things in their own facility here in America, which ensures that they can guarantee the highest quality product that leaves the warehouse. But maybe most importantly, especially in times like these, Stopbox, by making all their products here in America, are creating American jobs. By the way, we should mention Stopbox Pro is also TSA compliant, and they've got a whole host of other innovative products, things like vehicle safe, chamber lock, and all your essential gear you need. And right now, for a limited time, our listeners are getting a crazy good deal on Stopbox. You'll get 10% off your entire order when you use the code WHW. And for even better savings, shop their bundles for the best deals on their best-selling products. Go right now and check out their bundles and save an exclusive 10% off site-wide when you use our code WHW at StopboxUSA.com. Discover a better way to balance security and readiness with Stopbox. And by now, by God, we're ready to roll. We're watching Great American Bash 1985. We're at 53 minutes and 13 seconds. Tony, you locked and loaded, ready to go?
How do I sound now?
Oh, you sound like you're supposed to, kind sir.
What the fuck?
You sound great. Let's not be hot about it.
I'm hot about it because we spent a lot of money for this equipment, and what the fuck happens? It says it was working.
Well, I tell my wife I'm working sometimes, and I'm really drinking with Casio. So it happens, you know?
Yeah, I do. Anyway, I'm over it. I'm better. I can't wait to go. Great American Bash 1985. Was this our first Great American Bash?
It was indeed. Yes, sir. This is in Charlotte, North Kakalaki. This is the one where Flair comes in a helicopter. And my lovely bride actually remembers this show. So I, for one, am looking forward to this. We hope you guys will join us. We've got the YouTube link with us in the description for today's show. And we're going to start a little bit into the program. We're going to start at 53:13. Don't worry, still an hour and a half worth of Tony and I watching some old JCP. We know you're going to love it. We will too. It's 53 minutes and 13 seconds. Tony, you ready on your end?
I'm ready on my end. I'm ready to go. By the way, if you stop at 53:13, you'll see a wide shot of the ring, and this is at the old Charlotte, which there probably still is there. The old Charlotte stadium outside. They probably still played some high school football there, long before the Panthers got into the town. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, play.
If you're wondering, this is actually a show that was originally only released on a 1-hour VHS. And I assume, Tony, that the reason that happened is way back when it was just, and again, I realize this sounds like forever ago, but literally it was 40 years ago. There were like different versions of VHS recording modes. I remember there being, maybe I have this wrong, but there was like an SP and then an LP and then an SLP. The idea being it was like short play and then long play and super long play or something like that. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I convinced myself. But the point is, the longer the tape, the less quality it is. So it does make sense that you guys would want to put out visually the highest quality film you could, which I get. But an hour, man, how do you even make those selections, Tony, of a really long show like this? How do you divvy that up and decide, okay, we'll show this, but not that? That's got to be challenging.
It was done by Turner Home Entertainment.
You weren't involved in that.
I was not involved in that. Turner, I distinctly remember that the head of Turner Home Entertainment, I can't remember his name, but he was watching some of this, and Jimmy Valiant came in on a golf cart, as they did back then, to the Boy from New York City by Manhattan Transfer.
Yes.
And he looked at that, he went, "Holy shit, you guys use that music?" And I went,
he didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't know. I went, yeah. He said, "We can't use that." And that is when all of a sudden the Crockett's realize, or NWA realized, we can't use that stuff.
And we didn't know that until this show?
Until this show. Or they didn't give a shit until this show.
What a great story. Thank you for sharing that. How have we never heard that before? That's awesome.
Isn't that something? Because I was in there, and I remember thinking to myself, yeah, we've always used it, but I bet you we shouldn't be. And we did back then. And we did back then on TBS. But once Turner Home Entertainment got a hold of it, they thought, and they were right, we should be paying rights fees.
Yes. Well, we know that ECW never really did that, but that is one of the cool things about ECW. I don't know if you saw this, but it was revealed over the weekend that in the new WWE video game, they're going to have the New Jack character from ECW. And we've heard through the grapevine over the last 12 months or so that was actually a Nick Khan idea. I guess he was a low-key, not big hog, but a low-key New Jack fan. Wow. Anyway, I'm saying all that to say, as the story goes, if you do a no DQ match in the game, they actually have New Jack's music play throughout it. Because as you'll recall from watching ECW, they just play the old rap song the entire time in the background. So somebody's getting their ass whipped to a soundtrack. And I love that. Now, of course, they're not going to play the original rap song. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I can't imagine that they licensed a rap song that has lyrics like, "Doomed to be a killer since I came out the nutsack."
Wow. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to put that on a video game for kids. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I do think it's interesting that music had such a profound effect on our fandom, which is one of the reasons, and this is going to feel like I'm glazing Tony Khan, I love that he selectively uses quote unquote real music. I think that's fun, man. I like that.
I do too. I like the fact that he has used, I think, to me, the use of Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
Yeah.
Just gets the fans so fired up in the arena. And sometimes sometimes he doesn't want to use it. I tell him, I say, God, it gets the people so fired up. But I really like that song by Elton John. I liked I guess it was Jefferson Starship and Jane.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, for Orange Cassidy. And
Jack Perry had one, which was cool.
Yes.
Back in the day when what was the Tarzan boy or something like that?
Yeah, right. And then John Moxley had, of course, Wild
Yes.
Thing
Yes.
from the movie, not the original Wild Thing from the '60s, but the one from the movie Major League. So yeah, I like the use of the music. It's very, very expensive, but they feel the time and the place sometimes are right. And like I'll give you for instance, I'll guarantee you that the Road Warriors walked out to Iron Man.
Oh, no doubt. And we didn't see that on the video at
You're
all.
not going to see it on the video, right? They came out to Iron Man a lot the TBS studios until Turner Home Entertainment went, whoa, here, stop. So,
Isn't it interesting that, way back then, it's not like everybody had 500 cable stations like they do now or whatever. It is interesting that TBS really and truly was one of the super stations, and you had mainstream music playing, and nobody ever said a peep to the record companies. Isn't that interesting?
that is interesting. That just tells you that mainstream media just didn't pick up on World Championship Wrestling.
Well, in fairness, they didn't pick up on ECW either. I mean, can you
Sure.
imagine? ECW, respectfully, couldn't pay their doggone talent. You think they're paying big licensing fees for songs? Come on.
No. Also, there's something in here. I don't believe we've missed it, but there is in here somewhere. I do believe this is the one where, again, the wrestlers come to the arena in golf carts.
And you're going to see Dustin driving somebody else.
We're going to see Dustin Rhodes, a young Dustin Rhodes driving somebody. Yeah.
He sticks out like a sore thumb too. Like once you know to look for him, man, you just know exactly who it is.
Yeah. And of course, he's an old fucker now, but back then he was just a young kid.
Well, that old fucker is going to be a big part of what's going down this weekend. That Ring of Honor show, it's going to be a sleeper show, Tony. I think if there is one show that's being slept on this weekend, it might be the Ring of Honor show, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I again, I go back to women's wrestling, and Athena has been such a great champion in
No
Ring of
doubt,
Honor,
man.
and she's got Thunder Rosa, of course. So that's the one match I'm looking forward to, and it should be a great matchup. So yeah, I don't think you should sleep on Ring of Honor because it's going to be great, and the esports arena where it's going to be is a pretty cool place.
It is a cool place. I can't
Yeah.
wait to be there. We hope you'll make plans to join us. It's going to be a real big celebration. And I know that, AEW certainly has their critics and all that jazz. We'll leave that talk for another podcast. But congrats, man, on a huge milestone. We're seeing there's over 20,000 tickets out. We're seeing that, Tony Khan is projecting more than a $3 million gate. I mean, realistically, outside of WWE, when is the last time anybody sold 20,000 tickets for wrestling in America, much less had a $3 million gate? This is really rarefied air and a milestone that you guys should celebrate.
Yeah, I think we are going to celebrate it. I think we're all excited about it. I think one thing that's always happened, I don't think, and of course, there's mixed views. I know, and I know there's people out there that, regardless of what we put on, they're going to hate us.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever really disappointed in with a pay-per-view. I think we've had some that are much better than others, but I think basically everybody puts their best foot forward for a pay-per-view, and I'm talking about talent, wrestling talent.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be a great event. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing right now because the pace of this match is slow and prodding, as you would expect between the Russians
And the Road Warriors.
and
Yeah.
the Road Warriors. Yes. But look, he couldn't get Barry Darso up. Well, of course you can't. Barry Darso, big old fat boy. There's that old thumb in the anus maneuver.
What is there a combination? You caught me off guard with that. I'm going to need you to try to break that out if you can on TV. Do you think you could?
The thumb in the anus maneuver?
Oh, it's the old patented thumb in the anus.
I heard that on like a wrestling broadcast in black and white from a long, long time ago.
Really?
And the wrestling announcer says he's got him up in that thumb of the anus maneuver and puts him down. I mean, just like it was the most natural thing in the world.
I mean, I'm for it.
Mm.
Hypothetically, what match do you think is most likely to feature the dreaded thumb in the anus this week?
Okay. Wow.
Are John Moxley and Hangman Adam Page going to get in a battle of thumb in the anus Jones?
I don't think so. You may Adam Cole, Kyle Fletcher, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's where we should expect some stinky fingers. Is that what you're suggesting?
Stinky thumb.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, and also this weekend, after we invite everybody,
Yes.
because I'm a big Warner Brothers guy. Thank you. That after the show on Saturday, you may want to go to the theater on Sunday and see Superman.
You know, our great close personal friend Dave Silva, he's going to see Superman tomorrow.
Really?
Yep. He's got a hookup. He knows a guy who knows a guy. He will be watching Superman tomorrow. So by the time everybody hears this, if you need spoilers, by all means, text Dave Silva. Let me get his personal cell phone number out of my phone real fast. I want to give that here on the program.
Here's a spoiler. I think Rachel Brosnahan is like smoking.
I don't know who that is, but I know Dave Silva's home phone number is 956.
Okay. So anyway, so she's the one that plays Lois Lane, and she's also the one to play the Magnificent Ms. Maisel or whatever it was. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Oh, yeah. No, okay. All right. I know exactly what you're talking about. And you love that show.
I love that show. I thought she was just gorgeous, and of course she's in and Lois Lane in the upcoming movies. So that should be a lot of fun.
Will you be able to contain yourself in a movie theater, or are we going to have like a Pee Wee Herman type situation?
No, and do not, again, I'm warning you, do not diss the good goddamn name of Paul Rubens on my show.
Oh no, dude! I was just telling you how much I love that documentary on him. That
wasn't it? Yeah, but you know what? It went downhill in a hurry.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying I learned a lot about him I didn't know, and I have to admit I didn't. There's a lot. I was watching it as a kid, Tony. So a lot of the double entendre stuff as a kid, man, I just missed all that.
Right. Yeah. He was ahead of his time, man. I was such a big fan of his. I told you that's one of my big disappointments in life.
But you never got to meet him?
Right, and I was so close.
Right.
That and never being able to see the Cars in concert because, the two main singers are dead now. And those two of my big disappointments in life.
Just so I know, because I don't feel like we got a proper answer. You got fired up about Paul Rubens. When you go watch Superman in the theater,
no.
Are you going to have your meat out?
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I don't know how big of a fan you are. Like,
yeah.
Silver, you're going tomorrow. When you go watch Superman in the theater tomorrow, Dave, are you going to have your meat out?
Oh, I was, but I'm hearing about this new maneuver, thumb in the anus, that I think I want to try.
Yeah.
How will you be able to do that and eat popcorn? Are you going to go lefty up and righty down, or what are we doing there?
No, I'm gonna wear the popcorn bucket like a horse trough and just eat it and thumb it.
Wow.
If you're in San Antonio, do not go to Superman yesterday as you're listening to this.
Okay. Can we talk about this fucking match?
Dude, I mean, how about this 17-minute fucking bear hug?
It's a big one. You know what they say about bear hugs?
Can't get enough of them.
Can't get enough of them.
By the way, I should mention our very first match on the show. It's not here. We didn't watch it. We skipped it. But the very first match, had we started from the beginning, was Buddy Landell versus Cowboy Ron Bass.
Wow.
If you had a do-over with either one of those, maybe that's a bad way to phrase it. Who of the two do you think had more unrealized potential in JCP? Buddy Landell or Cowboy Ron Bass?
Oh, Buddy Landell.
Now, why do you think that? Because I hear that a lot, and I got to say respectfully, as much as I want to love Buddy Landell because everybody I know loves him, I didn't watch him growing up, so I'm just not enamored with him, and I don't really get it. So sell me on Buddy Landell.
He could work in the ring. He could give you good matches in the ring.
Okay.
Nature Boy Buddy Landell, kind of a ripoff of Ric Flair. I get it, but he was known within the boys. The guy could work and give you a great match. So that's why.
I've heard that now. I've heard that he was a tremendous worker. I mean, just universal praise heaped on him. But I'm just saying my fandom didn't really line up with his presence in wrestling. So only thing I've been able to see is stuff we've watched after the fact. And by the way, I do love his elbow. Remember when he would bounce off the ropes and drop an elbow on a guy who was prone on the mat?
Right.
What a beautiful elbow he had.
Yeah, he was good. He was very good at it. So, yeah. So that was the first match. He and Ron Bass, right?
That's exactly right. The next match, by the way, it got a 1.5 stars, according to our friends over at 411 Fuck Sheet.
Okay.
But when you look at match number 2, that was for the national tag team title. And we saw the Andersons, that's Ole and Arn, taking on Dick Slater and Buzz Sawyer. We know the Andersons are going to be mainstays in JCP, but Dick Slater and Buzz Sawyer, 2 verifiable badasses. If you had to answer that same question again for Dick Slater and Buzz Sawyer, who do you think had the most unrealized potential in JCP?
Wow. That's hard to say because Buzz Sawyer was such a horrible human being. I would really hate to even give him any props.
But you think that may have been the answer?
It could have been. Dick Slater was probably at the time that JCP was taking over Georgia Championship Wrestling. Dick was kind of maybe past his prime. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dick Slater was legit badass. Anybody?
Hey, speaking of wrestlers named Dick, I'm not asking this. I'm not saying this to be funny because I realize it's going to come off that way. But doesn't it feel like whether you're a wrestler or you have a seafood restaurant, you're going to call yourself Dirty Dick? Like, has there ever been a clean Dick? Like instead of Dirty Dick Slater, could you be Clean Dick Slater?
Yeah, I guess you could.
Why hasn't there ever been a clean Dick in wrestling?
I don't know. I don't know. And there's a store out there called Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with that.
Big chain. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And at the house here, we call it Dickhead Sporting Goods. Dickhead's Sporting Goods. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. This is the same family that used to refer to Glizzies as
Glizzies.
Donkey
Glizzies. Glizzies. Okay.
You're out of the loop on a glizzy?
No, I don't know what a glizzy is.
It's a sausage.
Oh, it's a sausage. Okay.
It's a hot dog.
It's hot dog.
It's wiener-shaped meat.
Okay. So here comes the great Ivan Koloff in.
Man, what a star he was once upon a time, too. You know what?
Man, he was. I talked about this when we saw that Madison Square Garden show about how he dropped the WWF strap to Pedro Morales and what a big deal that was. And he was a big star for Vince Sr. back in the day. And
you buried the lead. He beat Bruno.
He beat Bruno for the title.
I mean, you want to talk about rarefied air.
Yeah.
Like before there was a John Cena, before there was a Rock or a Stone Cold or a Hulk Hogan, there was a Bruno Sammartino. And very much so, Vince Sr. was promoting based on, nationality.
Right.
So the idea that you had, the proud Italians of the 5 boroughs of New York witnessing their hero who seemingly never lost, who had main evented so many year after year after year, main events at Madison Square Garden. Now this damn Russian comes in and beats him. That's crazy stuff.
Yeah. And Ivan was also in real life a very religious man too. That's kind of like, you don't think of this badass Russian hates America being in effect a very Christian religious guy.
Isn't that interesting too, that he was such a man of faith. And then we know Nikita Koloff became the exact same way later in life.
Yeah, that's something.
It's like we've heard before. So one of our great close personal friends, one of our mutual friends used to tell me all the time, hey, the heels are baby faces and the baby faces are heels.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Ivan was the Ivan Koloff. Ivan was kind of like, to me, like Baron von Raschke was. The real Baron von Raschke and the Baron von Raschke you saw on TV were nothing of the same. And the same about Ivan Koloff. Nothing of the same. Just completely different. Did someone flush the commode here? What am I hearing?
You're hearing the dogs. They're having a fun time behind me.
Okay. All right.
They're absolutely wearing each other out. They've been Megan's out of town this week. She's doing a girls trip with Morgan since I'm doing all the Starrcast shenanigans with my friends. They thought, hey, this would be a good time to do our thing. So they're doing a girls trip this week. And right now it's just me and the 2 little babies here at the house. So I thought, you know what? They've been locked up. I need to let them run around. They'll run around during the show. I mean, hell, Tony's mic might even work. So if I can't deal with a little dog in the background, what are we going to do?
Well, I got 2 dogs over here. Let's see if I can get the camera in on them there.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, you can't. They're on the couch there.
I like it. You're doing your best meteorologist right now.
Yeah, there's unfortunately Master Chief is blocking him. Master Chief. There's Pook. Hey, Dobby, what's up, buddy? He's I gotta go to sleep. Okay. They they play so hard here at the house that they're just worn out at night. I mean, whew. And then I walk them at like at 7 o'clock at night, and it's just crazy. But you know what? Oh, look at baby.
Oh, look, you remember. Look, Tony knows who you are,
Hey,
baby.
baby, look at that looking daddy.
Oh, Tony knew it was you just based on the back of your head.
Yeah, you know where that mouth has been, baby. I wouldn't lick it. Yeah, you just do it. That's a,
She's getting a haircut tomorrow.
is there anything like a little dog?
Nothing.
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 Mm.
You know what's interesting is baby has graduated from sleeping in the bed with us. Now she sleeps on the couch in our bedroom, but she sleeps on top and she stares out the door like she's a badass.
Yeah.
And over my shoulder right there, that's Ginger. Hey,
That's
Ginger.
Hey, Ginger, what a
doing?
girl. That's a good girl.
Official dog is something to wrestle right there. She's keeping a hold on everything back there.
Yeah. Ginger doesn't give a shit about the Russians nor the
No, she's like, are we watching wrestling again, Dad?
yeah, nor the Road Warriors. And there you see the ringside seats. The Great American Bash also had music, if I recall, and David Allen Coe
And
I
fireworks,
believe,
parachutes.
yeah, fireworks and parachutes. Ric Flair, when he arrives, I don't know if they edited it out, will land in the Channel 9 helicopter. Look at this. Not necessarily, you don't always see Kamala in a golf cart.
By the way, how amazing is Kamala's story when you really think about what he was able to accomplish, and that it was really just the brainchild of Jeff Jarrett's dad. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I mean, when you really think about, and I know it's not popular because they weren't a national promotion, and I sound like a big homer, but when you really think about all of the shit that Jeff's dad is responsible for,
Uh-huh.
helping The Rock get started, helping Steve Austin get started at Mankind and The Undertaker and Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan. And I mean, it really is a who's who of professional wrestling that Jerry Jarrett, is responsible for.
Yeah, is this Skandor Akbar with him? I believe.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Also, you didn't. It has nothing to do with anything, but I did notice that the kid bringing them in was Ron Ringley, who is Francis Crockett's son.
Hmm.
Of course, his father was Johnny Ringley, who ran the Crockett Promotions at one time. And look at this.
Yeah, there he is, Hangman Adam Page. I mean, Magnum TA.
I tell Hangman that all the time. I said, you are the Magnum TA of the modern era, brother.
By the way, if you're wondering, no, Kamala was not a regular here. He was brought in as a special guest attraction. At this point, he had worked he had worked some Tennessee stuff. He had worked some Dallas. He had worked some Houston. He'd worked Oklahoma. He'd worked Georgia Championship Wrestling. Certainly, he'd worked Memphis. But this is seemingly kind of a one-off for JCP. He is going to be wrestling for the NWA in St. Louis at the Kiel Auditorium about 5 weeks prior. But this is one of the handful of times that we saw Kamala and Jim Crockett Promotions. This may actually be the only time that I can find on record. They're going to go 6 minutes and 40 seconds here. But this is clearly just a vehicle to establish Magnum TA as one of, if not your top babyface. In this era, it was very much you're trying to groom the United States champion. If you've got a babyface like that, he is going to be your top guy, because in this era, as a reminder, the NWA champion is touring. So this is a huge vote of confidence from Jim Crockett Promotions to put that title on a babyface champion as the United States champion, that is, like Magnum, don't you think?
Yeah. This is a big deal. And every time I see Magnum, it breaks my heart. But happened a long, long time ago, man. 40
His
years.
life worked out pretty damn good, though. You know it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, he made the best of it. He really
No
did.
doubt, man.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's because he was a determined, good guy. What I was saying is, when Ric Flair arrives in a helicopter, it'll be the Channel 9 helicopter, if I recall. And I'll think of the guy's name, who was the sports director of Channel 9. Look at that crossbody.
You know what? We've talked about that before, and you remembered his name. I know you'll remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But he was a big wrestling fan. He always talked, didn't always, but a lot of times he will give the results from the Charlotte Coliseum on the nightly news, which was tremendous. And his last name was Johnson. I'll think of it. He gave Ric Flair a ride in that helicopter. Yeah, I'm telling you, back in the day, and I'm talking about pre the selling of or the buying of Bill Watts and Jimmy moving to Dallas. The Crockett family was an institution in Charlotte. They really were, because his father had been around, had been, been promoting wrestling, had been promoting the circus, had been doing a lot of things, and they were instrumental in the entertainment business in the Charlotte and the Carolinas. And then that all kind of went when Jimmy moved to Dallas. Does David ever talk about that, Jimmy moving to
Yeah,
Dallas?
he sure does. By the way, if you remember with us over at adfreeshows.com, I want to give you a heads up that tomorrow, after we finish our Starcast call with AEW, David Crockett and I, we're going to be jumping in and talking some old JCP on the book. If you can't get enough JCP, like what we're watching right now, I want to remind you that every single month through 1985 and then 1986, David Crockett and I are going through his brother's red books. This is the excellent penmanship of J.J. Dillon, and we're going to see who's wrestling who, what the gates were, all the pivotal information about how to run a professional wrestling promotion. That's what we cover, soup to nuts, and it's exclusive over at adfreeshows.com. Check it out. I think you'll dig it.
So basically, in a nutshell, what did he say about Jimmy going to Dallas?
He didn't want him to do it. He was against buying it in the first place. That was a major falling out and a source of a lot of fights and unhappiness and uneasiness between David and Jimmy, because Jimmy really wanted to go and David did not. Not just in terms of Jimmy going, but I mean, like, he just thought the entire thing about, hey, we're gonna buy Watts was just a bad idea. So
Right.
he was against it.
There was a thought that, I don't even know how true this is, but you just hear things because, and believe you me, I was hearing things from the boys back then. Okay.
Sure.
So you know how things circle through the boys, that Dusty's the one that convinced Jimmy to go.
Yeah, that's what we've all heard. And
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is everybody, depending on who you believe and who you ask, we've heard a lot that Jimmy was sort of enamored with Dusty. I don't mean in a weird way. I just mean like he trusted Dusty's judgment implicitly. And so that's maybe one of the reasons that there was a plane nicknamed Stardust.
Stardust. Yeah.
Hey, let's do some questions here. We've got Jason Taylor, friend of the show, here with us as part of our live studio audience from patreon.com/WHW Monday. And Jason says, hey, Tony, how old were you here 40 years ago, Tony? What were you, 40? You were 40 years ago, right?
Now, 40 years ago, I was 27.
How about that?
Yep. That's how old I was. I was yet to be 27. I was 26 right here.
Matthew Elvis Presley wants to know, Tony, what is the best Great American Bash ever?
Wow.
Now, of course, he's thinking probably about the WCW Great American Bashes, because if you're a longtime JCP fan, you know that in 85, 86, and 87, there were multiple Great American Bash shows.
Yeah.
They were Great American Bash tours. But in the WCW pay-per-view era, you did have traditional once-a-year Great American Bash big shows. Does one stand out above all the rest, Tony?
I think for me, it's got to be this one, because this was the first big one that we had. So I think this has to be, in my mind, the best. Whether it ends up being the best work rate or not, I'm not sure. For some reason, I remember Ric Flair going up against Ricky Morton in one of these stadium shows.
That's correct. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that probably was 86 then, maybe.
That's right. I think you're right.
Yeah. So these stadium shows to me were very, very good. And, of course, I went to, when we were Great American Bash on tour in 86, I went to every show. And we had some great shows. We had some terrible shows, like at the Liberty Bowl. We had, and at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, we had some pretty good shows, like in the Orange Bowl. At the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, had a great show. Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati had a great show, a great crowd. The The Great American Bash on tour, though, overall did not live up to its hype. I don't think, as far as bringing the people in. We didn't sell out any of the stadiums. We had good crowds, but we didn't sell out any of the stadiums. We may have sold out this stadium in Charlotte, but this was not like a Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia where the Eagles and Phillies played.
I believe what we're watching right now is actually the most attended JCP match of all time, or show of all time. I think there's over 27,000 people here at Memorial Stadium.
Right. So you can imagine that if we put 20,000 people in Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia of a 50,000 seat stadium, what that looked like, right? And I remember, it's a story I've told before, that we were at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, which of course now has, been refurbished and is obviously going to be refurbished again. But this is back when it was the old Gator Bowl. Waylon Jennings was one of the guys singing. We had musical acts. Waylon Jennings was singing, and I remember interviewing Waylon. I say, Waylon, how's it going to feel to come to a stadium with a sold out crowd? I'll be excited, blah, blah, blah. He got there, was nobody there. And it was thundering and raining, and he played like 2 songs, and everybody knew he was pissed. And he said, well, it looks like the weather's not going to cooperate, and we're going to get on out of here. So he played like 2 songs. That was it.
Got paid and dipped.
Gone.
This year at Starrcast, The Ring gets a remix. Crunchyroll is teaming up with international wrestling legend and culture-shifting powerhouse Mercedes Moné. Bridging the worlds of anime, athletics, and anime-loving athletes, this collab celebrates reinvention, empowerment, and making your entrance look like it's the main event every time. From wrestling icon to CEO, Mercedes brings her story to life in a collection that hits harder than a finisher. You can grab it all at the Crunchyroll booth, located at the front of the Hall of Fame room on the 2nd floor, or online at the Crunchyroll store. Whether you're a longtime fan or new to the legend, this is one collab you'll want in your corner. Crunchyroll is teaming up with Mercedes Moné on an exclusive collection available at the Crunchyroll booth at Starrcast and online. The Crunchyroll collection features tees, a kimono jacket, sweatshirts, hats, posters, and a pin, merging Mercedes Moné and anime and manga aesthetics. Mix and match your favorite pieces or grab the entire collection. Yeah. Hey, we mentioned Ricky Morton and Ric Flair a moment ago, and I was hesitant to say, yeah, Tony, I think it was here in Charlotte, because I wasn't sure. That is what happened. The very next year, when the Great American Bash comes back to Charlotte's Memorial Stadium here, we would see Ric Flair defend the world title against Ricky Morton, this time in a steel cage. That is for the 10 pounds of gold, or I guess by that point, it was the big gold belt. But we saw the exact same thing 5 days later. Ricky Morton would get another shot in Charleston, West Virginia. And obviously Ric Flair remains victorious. But there was some fun photos out there. There's at least one black and white photo where you see Ricky Morton posing in his trunks, fresh after a match with Ric Flair with the big gold belt. He's just holding it around his waist. It's not strapped on or anything, but it is interesting to think about Ricky Morton as a singles babyface, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be forever known as member of the Rock and Roll Express, right?
No doubt. And you see there, Magnum riding the golf cart to the backstage area. I love it.
Fans chasing.
We were talking a little bit about what happened before we pressed play here today. Match 3 was a 6-man tag with superstar Billy Graham, former WWF champion, the Barbarian, and Abdullah the Butcher. What a badass crew that is.
Wow.
And they wrestled Sam Houston, Manny Fernandez, and Buzz Tyler.
This is, by the way, this ring announcer we're looking at right now is CJ Underwood.
Yep.
From WBT Channel 3.
Okay.
Yeah. He was always the ring announcer in Charlotte for the Crockett's. I think CJ may have done weather. I'm not sure.
I want to throw this out at you when we're talking about that match. I think that's actually Buzz Tyler's last match
before he walked.
Not only his last match in JCP, I think it's his last match ever.
Yeah, he walked. I was there when he walked.
Tell us about that.
He had come. Wednesdays were days where we did local interviews all day, literally all day. We would start sometimes at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we would go to 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night. Just one interview after another, one interview after another, bang, bang, bang. And so he came in needing to do interview. He was going to wrestle he was the Mid-Atlantic champion. He was going to wrestle in Kansas City for Bob Geigel. And he came in wanting to do that one interview. Gene Anderson, who was the producer back then, who organized and got everything together, he made sure that the Crockett shit got done first. That was his job. The Crockett shit was going to get, I don't even know if to say shit, but the Crockett stuff was going to get done first. So Buzz waited and waited and waited, had lunch. They brought in fried chicken like they always did, waited and waited and waited. Nothing got done. And I remember he just absolutely went bananas. He said, Gene, I've been waiting here all goddamn afternoon to do one fucking minute interview for Bob Geigel. And you don't have the decency to let me just step in and do that 1 minute interview. Fuck this place. Turn around. He walked out and that was it.
By the way, his last match with JCP actually wound up being 3 days after the show we're watching right now. It was Buzz Tyler and Ron Bass taking on Gene Ligon and Mark Fleming. That happened at the Rec Center in Shelby, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But we do know that when they did those promos, he really did quit. That was the end of him and JCP. Yep. He made those shots in Kansas City, one on the 18th, one on the 25th, and that was it for a long time. Mm-hmm. He came out of retirement for one match in North Carolina in 1988. So 3 years later, he'd wrestle and defeat Bobby Rose, a name I'm not even familiar with. But for all intents and purposes, this is one of, if not the very last time we're going to see Buzz in JCP. Now, I'm not really familiar with Buzz Tyler's game, but he was the North or Mid-Atlantic champion at the time. Is our belief that he still has that belt, or last we heard he did?
I don't know. It was a white belt.
Yep.
That had the Mid-Atlantic states on it. It was pretty big as far as vertically. It was high.
Yeah, it was tall. Yeah,
tall like an OAWA belt was. Remember how tall those were back then?
Like the AEW World Title right now.
Like the AEW World Title right now. Yeah, but back in the day, it was bigger than most. So,
sure. She said.
Yeah. Oh, so I guess we're waiting on Ric Flair to land, unless Ric Flair landed in the helicopter the year the next.
Oh, it's this year.
Okay.
And you'll start to see, look, they're pointing to the sky. Here he comes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the goddamn helicopter landing entrance. As you may recall, we saw Charlotte Flair actually do this at WrestleMania back in 2019. I believe in her case, they taped it the night before and then just aired it, and she walked out. But it was an interesting idea, and it is a big idea. We know that Dusty was really known for his big ideas. Do you think the helicopter interest for Flair was a Dusty idea, or would he not have come up with something like that for Richard?
I think he would have, but I think it's something that Harold, and I remember the name now, Harold Johnson wanted to do for Rick.
Isn't that crazy? You just thought of it right then when you said it out loud.
And it's something your brain is all, I didn't Google it at all. Brain is always working.
It's amazing.
Harold Johnson was a big deal in Charlotte. He was the number one sports guy in the Metro Charlotte area, which back in those days, TV,
meant something.
Yeah. Look at David Crockett as the referee. See this came after Ivan hit David with that Russian sickle.
Well, that was Nikita, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nikita hit David with the Russian sickle. And that's why David is the special referee for this. See, it's all part of the storyline.
Isn't it crazy that, I guess, as you said, David is going to be the special guest referee here, but he's not wearing stripes. He's wearing a green polo. Yeah,
I know. Well, he's David Crockett. He can do what he wants.
Don't you think that's weird, though?
Yeah, I do.
If you were going to be a referee, would you wear your AEW blazer?
No, I'd go shirtless.
Oh, I love it. I'm gonna see if I can't take.
I'd show off the guns that I've been working on.
Let's zoom in. Zoom it, cameraman. Zoom it. Oh, there you go. Hey, we were talking a little bit about your favorite Great American Bash, and Jason Taylor said, "What about the 1990 Great American Bash when Sting beat Flair for the world title? That has my favorite tag match ever on it too. We got the Young Pistols or whatever they were, Wild Eyed Southern Boys, whatever we were calling them at the time. It's Tracy Smothers and Mr. Armstrong taking on the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette, but it's the Stan Lane version. And I think I would put that tag match up against almost any. It's one of my absolute favorite tag matches.
Soon as Rick gets out and Harold Johnson gets out with him, I got a story I want to tell.
By the way, we're going to see Flair, I believe, come to the ring in the first version of the black and white and silver.
Look at the red carpet.
With all the feathers. Yeah, they're rolling out the red carpet right over to the chopper, which the blades are still spinning on. You can see the guy's pants.
Chopper 9. Yeah.
Listen to you going right into Chopper 9.
Yeah, at WSOC TV, I remembered very, very. Here comes Flair, and there's Harold Johnson, his in that checkered blazer of his.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Waving everybody.
What's up with the yellow chicken? Is that a part of his broadcast?
No, he called. He was calling Nikita Koloff a chicken. He was afraid of Flair.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So and look like Klondike Bill in the orange.
Oh, I see him. Yeah, with the overalls, ready to go.
Right, absolutely. There he is, in the still shot right behind Flair to Flair's right shoulder. Big deal, man.
What a life Ric Flair's lived. You know it.
Yep. Okay, I got a story, and I'm glad that Coach Rosie reminded me of that. If you will put up Coach Rosie's comment, Dave, in at 10:54 p.m. I want to comment on that.
It says Tony blew me off walking out to Collision 100. It cracked me up.
Okay, Coach. First of all, I'll tell you, like I tell my wife, not everything is about you.
Oh, God damn.
Okay, here's the story, and it's a pretty good story about Collision 100. We are in Ontario, California, and QT and I, QT Marshall and I travel together, and QT and I were talking a couple of weeks before about leaving after Ontario. Should we drive to LAX and take a later flight, or should we chance and get the red eye from Ontario? And QT said, I think we can make the red eye from Ontario. I said, I don't know. Sometimes that the collision runs long. Sometimes, I don't know. We boarded at 9:25. All right. At 9:30, I was still announcing a freaking match. And Kevin Matthews, Big Kevin, God bless him. Okay. He's going to drive me to the airport. And at 9:30, he texts, he goes, where the fuck are you? I said, I'm still calling the goddamn match. So we went, the match ended like at 9:35. QT went ahead to tell Delta, hey, he's coming. Please hold the plane. And I went out, I ran, I forgot my phone. Ran back. Tommy Carlucci helped me get my phone. I ran and I got in the car, and they rushed me to the car, and Kenny Omega's in the back of the car. And Kenny said, you're going to miss your plane. You're going to miss your plane. I said, yeah. And if I miss my plane, the reason I'm going to miss my plane is because you talk so much after to the audience between Dynamite and Collision. He talked for a long time. He said, oh, I'm sorry. I would have known. I said, no, you did, because he did a great job of promoting, All In. Got on and give Kevin credit, man. He ran as fast as he could to get me there. I got to the gate, the very last person there, right before they shut the door. I've never rushed to get on an airline in my life. And I got to give Kevin Matthews a lot of credit for that. But that's how it happens sometime on the road. In hindsight, I probably should have just gone with a 12:55 flight back at LAX. We thought we could make it, and damn it, we did. So there you go. So Coach Rosie, I wasn't blowing you off. Didn't even hear you. I was zooming out of there. And only thing I packed was the extra pair of underwear, because at my age, sometimes you shit yourself.
We've all been there,
yeah,
especially in Tampa bars. Hey, John Hamilton wants to know, I have a question about the Unified Championship name. Does that now make them the main champ? So will the new Unified Championship, at least in your opinion, if you were to take a look at hierarchy of titles, Is that number one, or is it still the world title, Tony?
That's still the world title.
Okay, you gotta get hot about it.
Yeah, I am hot about it. No, stop it. It always will be the world title. So there.
Hey, let me ask you this: what day are you getting into Iowa next week?
What's in Iowa next week? Oh, that's
Well,
when David's going to be.
David Crockett and Eric Bischoff are going in the Hall of Fame. I just
And
assumed
what
they'd be
what
there.
day is that going to be?
That's Friday, next Friday night.
Next Friday night, not this Friday coming Friday night,
Right.
but
But
next
the
Friday
18th.
night.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't invited, so I'm not going to go.
Well, of course you're invited. I'm inviting you right now.
Well, thank you very much. But to echo someone's words from earlier today, I don't have a plane ticket. I don't have a hotel.
Well, just so you
No
know,
one's told me anything.
that person does have a plane ticket, and he does have a hotel, and he had his agent make sure that he could do autographs, and we said yes.
Uh-huh.
That's what happened. Yeah. But here's the deal: a lot of people get under contract and then don't want to fulfill their contract. So it's one of those things.
I know that. It's a crazy world we live in, Conrad. We're in the entertainment business, and sometimes in the entertainment business, you have to deal with all types of people. Good people, bad people, not so good people, not so bad people, crazy people, very crazy people, insane people. You have to deal with all types. But you know what? You just take it, like someone hits you in the jaw, you shake it off, and you go to the next event.
By the way, one of my favorite things that I saw this week was Tony Khan doing a media call. I don't know if you saw this, but he was asked about the heat in Texas and how the performers are going to deal with that inside the stadium. And he just very politely yelled, "There's a roof," which I don't know why, but it tickled me because he's exactly right. It's not going to be extraordinarily hot inside the building because there's a roof.
Was the question from one of those great journalists that pretend they're a journalist but just have a website?
Do you want to make a different list? Because it feels like that one might be too long to list.
Okay. Oh, God, journalist. I got a website. Waterloo, I hate to say this. I'm honored. Love my time. It was big.
However, I hear it.
Yeah, it was a big moment for me and my family. But it's going to go down as one of the most stressful weekends of my life, trying to get them back home.
What, the rest of the fam?
Mm-hmm. Because that was the weekend that Delta had its.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, that was rough. Coach Rosie will be in Waterloo, and he was in Waterloo for mine. Coach, glad you're here. Glad you're
How about that?
Yep. Jason Taylor and his boys came up from Texas, and were in Waterloo that time. So we really had a great time. It's just once I got to Dallas to do the show the next day on Saturday morning, the collision, trying to get the family in was tough. Was really tough. It cost me a lot of money.
We're watching pretty fun match here. Nikita Koloff and Ric Flair. We had Nikita on with us not too terribly long ago, and we had a conversation about the possibility of a WWF run, because I can't help but think about, one of my favorite movies as a kid, and still one of my, I guess, guilty pleasures, is the 1985 Rocky IV. And so that movie came out at the same time that Nikita was this monster, giant Russian character, not unlike Dolph Lundgren.
Right.
So it does feel like, what is the wrestling equivalent of Rocky? Well, that feels like that might be Hulk Hogan. So it just felt like, if I'm Mr. All America and blah, 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 it would have been a natural for him to be lured away to Vince. I mean, he certainly had the look that Vince liked.
Yeah.
And respectfully, he would have made a much better WrestleMania 2 opponent than King Kong Bundy.
Sure.
I could have got really behind that, especially on the heels of Rocky V. But when I brought it up to Nikita, it was like it never even crossed his mind, because he felt like the Crockett's took a big chance on him and gave him the big push. He was loyal to them, I thought that was really cool to hear from Nikita.
You know, there were some of us that thought that he was going to be cast as the Dolph Lundgren character.
Well, supposedly he even had a tryout for it. That movie, if you're wondering, was released on Thanksgiving weekend, I believe, November 27th, 1985. I am wondering now, when was Starrcade? 1985. Because it would be hilarious if it was the very next day. So Rocky 4 came out on the 27th, and Starrcade 85 was the very next day.
Wow.
On November 28th.
So see, that would have been a big deal. So I even remember somebody said God, I'm just hearing voices, but I remember somebody saying, Nikita said he had tried out for it or something. And somebody said, well, you got to be a lock. I mean, take a look at you. Take a look at the Russian character that you've built. And I think there were many of us that thought that Nikita had the part. But it went to, I must break you, Dolph Lundgren. He-Man, by the way, in the great He-Man movie.
I think it was, I think Nikita says that he got involved with the opportunity to have a conversation about Rocky 4.
Okay.
After his tag partner, Don Kernoodle, was contacted by Terry Funk, who I guess had heard about Nikita. So we know that Terry Funk was obviously friendly with Stallone, going back to the Paradise Alley stuff.
Right.
I feel confident if Stallone were to call Terry and say, hey, do you know somebody who knows how to work? I mean, Hulk worked, or Balea, whatever, Thunder Lips worked last year. We need do you know of like a big Russian? If that's the way it came about, can you imagine, like, if Nikita really had a personal relationship with Terry, you got to wonder, would it have changed anything? Now, I have to admit, it's hard for me to even imagine someone besides Dolph Lundgren playing Ivan Drago at this point.
Oh,
he did such a great job.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But that's anyway, what could have been. But do you see Flair battle out of that bear hug? I mean, that bear hug had to hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nikita was a fucking killer back then, though, buddy. Look at his chest. Those traps right up on his shoulder. This is what mine are going to look like in about another month or so. Yeah. So
we're watching live here. Greatly appreciate our live studio audience. We've got another question here from Bryant Harimza. I'll get it right.
Brian, is that Harimza, Brian? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's Harimza, and he's going to be with us in Waterloo, Iowa next. Well, not us, but me. But Bryant says, does Tony prefer arena shows or stadium shows? Some wrestlers complain about crowd reactions in stadiums. Of course, the idea is, Tony, we've heard that in a stadium, when there's no top, that the sound just goes up, and as Vince might say it, goes into the heavens, just disappears. But we've heard people like Stone Cold say, man, when you're in the old Allstate Arena, the Rosemont Horizon, as it was called when you worked there, it had a wooden ceiling. So it made that building loud as hell. Do you prefer those arena shows where the sounds are locked in, or do you like the feel of a stadium show?
Well, it's really hard to say, but I can tell you this. I've never had a feeling like I had at the first show at Wembley.
Yeah.
I've never had that feeling because I came out, they cheered me. They sung my name. I was so honored and so thrilled about being there. And it was a very electric crowd. However, Bryant's right. Bryant, just to answer your question, not all stadium shows are sold out. And unless they're sold out to the rafters, you're probably not going to get as great a sound as you're going to get in, let's say, an arena. Oddly enough, one of the loudest crowds I've ever heard, aside from the one that we had in Australia, because that crowd was crazy. When we were in Detroit recently at one of those theaters,
yep,
that crowd was bananas. That was as loud as the crowd you know how I know when the crowd gets really loud? My iWatch tells me that. My Apple Watch tells me about decibels. So that was so loud. I could not hear myself talk. I kept hitting my talk back button saying, guys, I can't hear myself talk. So yeah, I think overall probably the best atmosphere is in an arena, but you're not going to beat what we had at Wembley. Not going to beat what we had at the very first Grand Slam show, which I know is a stadium, but it's an enclosed stadium at the Rod Laver Tennis Center. So,
By the way, since we've been live here recording What Happened When, Commander was just announced as coming to Starrcast.
oh,
It's wild how many people we just keep announcing for this thing. I don't know where we're
That's
going to
great.
fit them all, Tony.
he'll be fine.
Yeah,
Just,
we'll figure
just
it out.
have him sit in the middle of put him in the middle of the room, so have him sit on Indian style. I'm sorry, Native American style, on a rug, and have people sit down next to him and sign autographs.
As a reminder, if you haven't already, you need to make plans to join us at Starrcast because Tony Schiavone is going to be there, and we've been cooking up something special. He's really excited to show you all. It's known as the Button on a Fur Coat Experience, and you must be 18 to participate. But I'm pretty fired up about that. You've never offered the button service before, Tony.
No, I haven't, and I can't wait to see what you have planned.
Well, you wanted the wrestler seance. Are you going to lead us in that panel?
I don't know if a wrestler seance would be good because someone may come back from the dead and haunt me the rest of my life. I don't need that. I'm haunted anyway here at the house. Look at Flair with those chops, man. And the snapmare takeover. Flair was so formulated at what he did. Now here comes the knee drop on the head. But it all worked, you know? It just, or the
Yes.
shin drop on the head. You knew what he was going to do, but it still worked.
By the way, still to come is for the NWA World Television title. It's a cage match with Tully Blanchard and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Dusty will get control of Baby Doll if he wins, and of
Oh.
course the TV title.
Mm.
Of course, it's unclear what Tully gets if he wins, but well, come on now,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
You know, one thing I've noticed about Flair here, it just shows you how Flair through the years changed.
Yeah,
He's doing not much wooing and strutting here, is he?
no,
No, he's just going to work
he's doing
and
his thing, man.
doing his thing. Yeah. And it wasn't until later that Flair did a lot of the woo and strutting the thing. And he may do a couple of those now, but you know, back then, or let's see if when he puts his figure four on here, if he goes, Eric, did he go woo there? He may have. Sometimes he'd go woo, and then he would try the figure four. And it's amazing that it doesn't matter where we are, what arena, every arena we go to, if someone puts the figure four on, everybody goes woo.
Yeah, or the chops in the corner.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just amazing. But yeah, Rick was more business than he was showmanship here, and he left the showmanship for, you know, the interviews that we did at the studio and things like that. But he was all business working here. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Is he going to cut himself here?
No, you don't think Ric Flair's going to bleed in a match, do you?
No, he put himself up. He's saying something to Ivan right there. That's how good. Look how good he is. He's talking to Ivan. God Almighty, God, he was so good. He was so good. He had something to say to Ivan, and he was so good about how it's just amazing. It's, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. I just, the old school Ric Flair stuff.
Yeah.
You can't get enough of it.
No,
Really.
I agree. It's about as
Yeah.
good as it gets.
Yeah. Yeah. He was so, and he was, you know, I know he was flamboyant. He had a style. He could talk, and that's one of the main reasons he got over. But no one could do a match like him. No one could control. I mean, he's controlling this whole match.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing. Right now, he's talking to Nikita and got the head buried in there, and it's just great. I'm just amazed every time. I can say this. If I watch an old Ric Flair match, it reminds me why I love this sport so much. And I got things today that remind me too. Kenny Omega matches always remind me why I love this sport. Um, some of the work that FTR has done, they've become such good heels, and um, John Moxley, a lot of the stars we got today. But going back and watching old Ric Flair match is great. Now they've set up the whole next sequence, so they know what exactly what they're doing. It's just, God, Nikita's arms and traps and delts. Holy shit. Hey, so Conrad, so are you ready for this?
I'm ready, buddy.
Okay, I started out doing chest press.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, I started out at 25 pounds.
Oh, we're crushing it.
Okay, now I'm up to 70.
Look at you.
Mhm. I told you the story that Nigel and Johnny TV convinced me to work out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I've changed my life.
Yambag Jones says FTR and the Outrunners from Collision was fantastic.
Yes, it was. Good call.
We also saw Bad Money Slim chime in, and he says the new He-Man movie is definitely going to suck. Have you seen anything about the new He-Man movie?
I've not seen anything about the new He-Man movie, but I hate to say this. I've seen the trailers for the new Naked Gun movie, and not a fan. I hope it's better than the trailers.
You don't like Cody?
No, I haven't seen Cody in one of the trailers.
Oh, well, he's in the movie.
I know he's in the movie. That doesn't mean I don't like Cody.
You don't have to get hot about it.
So yeah, I am getting hot about it because you're going to start a rumor that F1411 fuck sheet's going to pick up on.
Well, you just said I don't like.
Oh, I did not.
Movie Naked
No,
Gun.
I did not. I didn't just say that.
Well, we'll play the
I
tape.
didn't really just say it. You cannot play a tape back. And I don't know why you would say something like it anyway. Well, I do. Jared Leto is Skeletor. Bad Money Slim says that. He'd probably be a better Skeletor than he was Joker. Okay.
What's your favorite Jared Leto movie?
Look at Howard Johnson. Harold Johnson.
He's got a great hotel at Howard Johnson.
This is Harold Johnson.
So instead of Hojo, did y'all call him Hajo?
See the guy with the striped shirt on? That's Harold's cameraman.
Looks like Bill After.
Yeah, Bill After walked through. Yeah, he sure did. Go get him, Rick. Jared Leto. He played. What did he play in?
A lot of movies.
I know he played a lot of movies, but there's been one movie he was really good in. It
I don't know about that.
It wasn't the one where he played the Joker, and that was, what movie was that? That was one of the Suicide Squad movies. Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, that's more your speed.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
What?
I'm kind of I don't know how Dave feels, but one of the reasons I'm very excited about the Superman movie is that I think Marvel's kind of dropped the ball on superhero movies. And we're kind of getting to the point to where we're kind of getting tired of superhero movies. And
well, supposedly this Superman movie, and I haven't seen obviously much about it, but supposedly it's a political movie. So if you I know how much you love politics, so I think you'll really enjoy watching political Superman.
One of the reasons I'm excited about it is I saw the fucking dog in there, and I'm glad to see Super Dog in there.
There's a goddamn super dog?
There's a goddamn super dog in there. And I knew from the first trailer when he went face first and he whistled, I'm thinking, there's a goddamn super dog in here. You can't beat that.
Something else you can't beat is saving money at savewithconrad.com. And I'm talking to you. If you've got credit card debt, take a look at this chart. You'll see where credit card debt has risen to $1.21 trillion. And this chart shows that 60% of credit card holders are actually carrying a credit card balance each month. You know, the average interest rate on credit cards right now is 23%. But right now, with all that economic uncertainty, one thing is certain: your home is still worth more than what you paid for it. So instead of just drowning in that debt and feeling all stressed out if you're maxed out on your credit cards, why not use the equity in your home to save yourself some money? That's what Bo did. He's a machine operator in Pinson, Alabama. He had some vehicle troubles, and that brought on a lot of new unplanned expenses. So instead of taking out new debt for those, he just came to savewithconrad.com. Now, at the time, we were able to give him a plan. See, at savewithconrad.com, you don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. But if for whatever reason you're not ready just yet, we don't say no. We say not yet, but here's how. we hooked Bo up with a plan. And once he followed our instructions and we hit that timeline, man, he was able to leverage that equity in his house to not only pay off all of his debt, but also get a couple of new vehicles going and get the other one fixed. He's back good as new. And with cheaper monthly payments, yeah, we even showed him how he could save $200 a month just on his homeowner's insurance. Go right now to savewithconrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you. It's no cost, no obligation. And if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. It costs nothing to look, as my friend JR says. And as a reminder, all the experts tend to agree that interest rates are going to improve over the next 3 years. That's why we offer you the year 3 guarantee. This way, you don't have to worry about paying a whole new set of closing costs if and when rates go down over the next 3 years. It's a guarantee that we'll refinance you without a new set of lender fees. That's going to give you the peace of mind of knowing that you've got the best deal for your family right now, and you won't waste money later. It all happens at savewithconrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender, savewithconrad.com.
Well, the Pookies joined us, little Dobby, since your dog did.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this is the dog that I went to Seattle to pick up to replace the bug, and he ain't nothing like the bug. But he's, I know, but he's a good boy. He likes to be kissed on the side of the cheek. He's a good boy, though. He really gives Lois a run for her money, which is kind of hilarious. So that's our good boy. He's good. He's getting impatient because he wants to go out and chase rabbits in the backyard. We do that.
He does it at night?
Yeah, he and Kirby go out at night. We got a well-lit backyard, and they chase rabbits.
Oh, that's cool.
Here's a 1, 2, and the kid kicks out.
We got about 22 minutes left here in the program. John Hamilton is with us here live, and he's doing what some people might call an overshare. He says, my dad recorded a lot of Disney movies as a kid with porn. I remember taking Lion King to my friend's house, and we saw them make Simba. My goodness. You ever record over one of your kids' cartoons with some pornography, Tony?
Oh, I see what he's saying now. No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't think that's like advisable.
No, it's not.
Did any of your kids ever snoop around and find something of yours they shouldn't have found when they were little?
No.
Yeah.
I've lived a pretty boring life.
I just know that Silva was telling me that his kids catch him on top of his wife all the time.
God bless him.
Yeah. He says they don't even have doors in his house anymore.
Yeah. God bless he and his wife.
Do you want to know what those kids hear from across the hall? Like Silva's master bedroom's on one end of the house. The kids are on the other end. No, listen.
I don't want to hear this.
Sounds right now. I feel like there's a button that our producer can hit, and we'll hear those sounds of joy that a lot of people can hear in his household.
Well,
Tickle Me Silva. That's not Tickle Me Elmo. That's Tickle Me Silva.
Little Dobby here wondered where those sounds came from through the headphones.
Well, if he shows up in San Antonio, he might hear that from across the way.
Okay, what do we got here now? We got
Schmaz.
We had a fan get in the ring. I believe we did.
The Russians are in the ring.
No, the police are getting out of the ring right now. I believe a fan jumped into the ring. Rick goes to the top. Oh, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, the fans are trying to rush the ring because they're so pissed at the Koloffs.
Yeah.
1, 2. Oh, kicks out.
Yeah, I saw a police person run across. Right as we were doing some silly Dave Silva shit.
The fans are going to attack the Russians even after the bell. Fans are so riled up and fired up, they're throwing shit.
Yeah, I knew that.
Make an announcement here to clear the aisles, and they're going to send police out so the Russians can make their way back to the dressing room. So it's maybe not, a textbook great match, but from a big time main event feel and perspective, 1, 2, 3, Flair wins.
David Crockett with a fast count. You know what? Yeah. David was sickled by Nikita Koloff.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, David's going to get beat up here.
Ivan's putting the boots to him now.
Yeah, I like it. Now they're going to beat up Flair, and the fans are going to get even angrier. Here comes the shit. Once again, proving you can lose a match and keep your heat. A terrible shots by Nikita there. Oh, here we go. Sickle from the top.
Oh yeah, getting him up in like a.
Oh, not well done. Nikita, Ivan was see how the
with him. Yeah,
there's the fan. Here comes is this Sam Houston or a fan?
that's Sam Houston. He's selling.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you, if a fan gets involved, he's going to sell as well.
That's Chris Adams there, isn't it?
I thought it was maybe Denny Brown.
Oh yeah,
Not sure. Could have been Chris Adams.
Looks like him there, but yeah, I don't remember seeing him on the card.
Right.
Look at the police having to back fans away from the ring.
Yeah. Yes, sir. They're going to take care of Flair again. Yeah. You know what? I think I can definitely say the clothesline or the sickle or the lariat has been done a lot better these days than it was back then.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
I think almost everything is better these days than it was back then.
I think so.
I mean, from an in-ring perspective, like as far as, I mean, you take a look at some of the other offense and it was from way back when, and some of it's a little questionable.
Yeah. Okay, they're all around Flair right now. That may be Dick Slater who was there. I think that's the back of the head of Slater. I'm not sure.
Still to come, we got Dusty Rhodes and Tully Blanchard in the main event. Yambag wants to know, how well did you get to know Ivan, and how well did he actually get along with Nikita?
I think Ivan got along with everybody. I think if you didn't get along with Ivan Koloff, something was wrong with you, because he was just a gentleman and always seemed happy. And I got along with Ivan very, very well. I really had a lot of respect for him, loved him, really. What's Nikita doing here? Oh, they're chasing David out.
Tony, talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Did Conrad have to go poop? Maybe.
I think he was going to try that new move you talked about earlier.
That new move?
The thumb.
Oh, the thumb. Okay.
The tremendous thumb.
Yeah. Okay. So, I would think I always try to pee and poop before the show takes air.
Well, yeah, you kind of plan your.
Can you pee and poop around it?
Yeah, around the show, so you can sit for an hour and a half and not have to feel it. But it happens.
Mr. Epic says, when I was a kid, I thought Ivan Koloff was Goldberg. There you go, Mr. Epic. Good try that. Nothing like. I'm interested to see, if you're watching along with us, I hope you are, interested to see exactly if the fans are throwing a lot of shit in the ring. I want to see if the Koloffs can get back. Well, Chief, we won't find out, will we?
No, they're like, they were done with that.
Yeah, we're done with that. Let's go to this, sanctioned by the National Wrestling Alliance. It is for the United States Championship and for Baby Doll. No. Well, I didn't think we would see. Let me put the little Dobby down here. Dobby, you're a good boy. We'll go chase the bunnies a little bit later. Good boy. Good boy. Don't pee on the carpet. Lay down. Good boy. He thought Nikita Koloff was. Yeah, I see that. Hey, Conrad.
Hey, buddy.
Did you wipe?
Oh no, I just pissed off the porch.
Oh, good. Go Walt style, yeah. Yes, sir. Okay, so I was hoping to see the Koloffs try to make their way to the back, but they went right to this match.
Because that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, because we didn't need to wait for them to build the cage. Klondike to build the cage. So
Wayne, a problem with Flair not going on last. I mean, obviously it makes sense from a logistical standpoint, that the cage match, because it's going to take time to put up, you don't want to have the assembly time and the disassembly time.
Right.
And clearly, this is more of a blood feud, if you will, than Flair and the Russians. I mean, this is the story that we've been building forever.
Yeah.
What do you think, though? If you were booking this, would this have closed the show, or would the world title have closed the show?
The world title would have.
Okay.
Because Flair's the world champion and Nikita Koloff is the super heel.
So from an efficiency standpoint, I don't mean to cut you off. Would you start with a cage match, or would you just allow time to take it up and put it down and let them play music or parachute or whatever?
I would let them take it up and put it down.
Yeah.
Hand's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I have a feeling, don't know, but I have a feeling that there was a little bit of heat from Flair's perspective,
No doubt.
that he didn't go on last in the show. Just a feeling I have. I don't have any solid information about that. So Tully was a hell of a performer too, buddy. And he got
There's
a hell
no
of a
doubt one of the all-time great heels. Is he on your Mount Rushmore of best heels of all time, or who would be?
Wow. I hate that Mount Rushmore question.
Okay, come up with something else to talk about. I'll
Okay.
listen.
I know. Flair is on there, obviously.
Wouldn't be on mine.
Flair would not be on your heels.
Not as a heel. Because to me, you had a babyface version too. Like Tully was just despicable all the time. He was never a babyface.
Yeah.
I think Tully, Rick Rude.
Yeah, good calls.
Are you yawning over there?
Yeah. When you said Tully. Let's see, Tully, Rick Rude. To me, Ole Anderson was a babyface too. He was a great heel. Man, who else was a great heel?
Coach Keith is with us here live while we're thinking about who else was a great heel, and he says, "I pee and poop during the show all the time."
Thank you, Coach, for doing that. I'm glad we help you stay regular.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard for me to put this son of a bitch in any list, but you can't deny about what a heel MJF has become.
It's hard to argue. Maybe Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper, when he was a heel, tremendous, right?
Oh, Bobby Heenan.
Oh, of course.
Bobby Heenan was like fucking always a heel.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, I know that he did other stuff, but Mr. Perfect was a pretty good heel.
Yep. Yeah, we want to know in our comments who you think was one of the greatest heels of all time. Nikita during this juncture was a tremendous heel.
Oh, you know what? We're dumb.
We are.
Vince McMahon.
Oh, the Mr. McMahon character?
Mr. McMahon has to be on the Mount Rushmore of heels.
Yes, I agree. Bischoff was very good too.
Oh no, he was, yeah.
The Hogan, NWO Hogan was as well. Oh, which reminded me, I like BritBox, the British TV shows.
Yep, you've told me that.
Yeah, so I tuned in one the other day, and it's about the story about this couple with their two kids moving from England to America to live the American dream.
Really?
And he bought this RV park, and it's a show with episodes. I can't remember the name of it, but Kevin Nash and Buff Bagwell are in it.
Buddy, let me just tell you, I will forever and ever, amen, use the phrase you just did. It's a show with episodes. I don't know why, but it fucking tickled me.
Yeah.
Now, is this a show with episodes? You mean,
in other words, it's not a movie.
Yes, I got what you meant, but it just tickled me. This is a show with episodes.
Kevin Nash plays this big old Florida type redneck living at the trailer park. It's hilarious to see him talk like that. I only watched like 2 episodes of the show or 3, and that was it. But Buff's in it. God, I'm thinking, how did Kevin Nash and Buff Bagwell get on a show from Great Britain? Produced from Great Britain. I don't know.
Is it called Living the Dream?
That's what it is. Living the Dream.
From 2017.
Wow. 2017.
Leslie Jordan's in that too.
Yeah, Leslie Jordan is in that.
I got to check that out.
Yeah.
I used to make fun of you for old Brit Box, but now I might be in.
Yeah, I love BritBox. Coach Keith said the original Sheik was a great heel. You are right. He was.
Hey, let's do a question here from Bryant, who wants to know, with people throwing trash, were you ever hit by something that missed landing in the ring? Have you ever been hit by anything, Tony?
No. Mm-mm.
Do you want to be this Saturday?
No. Mike Tenay, back in the day when we used to have the Nitro, we had the Nitro set, remember? And you could see the ring behind us. So we faced the crowd. Mike was hit in the face with a battery. But not me. I wasn't hit.
What was your favorite porn you remember watching with Mike tonight? Because you told us we had a prolific pornography collection.
He never mentioned his pornography collection to me. Mike and I talked a lot about wrestling and baseball.
I knew you were going to say baseball.
Mm-hmm. But
Bad Money Slim is with us, and he's got a special request that I know you can help him with.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'm on vacation on the beach this week with my family. Bury me, please. All right. So do your best, Tony. Shit on Bad Money Slim in 3, 2, 1, play.
I invite Bad Money Slim's family to put him on the beach with shovels and bury him in the sand. Is that what he meant?
No, he wants you to shit on him, Tony. Talk poorly about him.
How can you talk poorly about a guy with a haircut like that?
It's fair.
Yeah. I mean, he's a grown man. And he's got a haircut like that. How can you talk poorly about him? Only thing you got to do is look at him. Right?
Yeah.
Then he puts the grill in when he comes to our shows to even enhance the look. So there.
It is a look too, by the way.
Yeah, boy, it's a special look. Meanwhile, Dusty.
And he's flying all over the place. Do you see that? That punch and snap and spin. I've never seen that before.
They're going to do it again. Watch him.
He didn't bump that time, but that was fantastic.
I think the first bump was inadvertent. I think he stumbled.
It looked awesome though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. You know, listen, Dusty took a lot of heat, obviously, from Dave Meltzer about his quality of work, but you can't deny he was a star, a big time star. He knew how to work a crowd. He had a great sense of timing. He knew how to pair himself with great athletes that knew how to work. Dusty was a very, very, very good wrestler in many ways. I just remember the first time I saw him in the Roanoke Civic Center, it's like, holy shit, this guy is tremendous. Just the way he approached the match and the way he had people, laughing and the way he would cut up. Look at him wobbling right there. By the way, I'm very excited. This has nothing to do with anybody unless you live in the Shenandoah Valley. But on the 9th of August, on a Saturday, Collision is going to be in the Roanoke Civic Center, a mere 80 miles from where I grew up and where I saw many, many wrestling matches. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's not the Civic Center anymore. It's called the Berglund Center.
Berglund.
Yeah, it's a car dealership. They must be the sponsors. Berglund Chevrolet. Tully just threw the referee down, which was Tommy Young, and Tully is bleeding, and so is Dusty bleeding. There's the bionic elbow. How can you not be a great performer? And I know he was the booker, so he was able to book himself in some great places. Yeah. How can you not be a great performer and not be as revered as Dusty was through all these years? I mean, geez, what a legacy what a legacy really the Rhodes family has. Really, you think about Cody and the success he's having, the success that Dustin has had. Oh, great lariat!
And now Dustin's nephews.
Yes, Dustin's nephews, and how not only that, how Dustin battled through adversity. with addiction, and came out on the other side and still can perform at the age he is now. It's quite a story. I did an interview with the Dallas Morning News. I don't know if it's printed yet, but about the Rhodes family and how I have I have an affection and I have a respect for that family because I travel with Dusty. Cody was instrumental in me getting in AEW as you were, and I've known Dustin forever. So I have a really, really, a really big place in my heart for the Rhodes family. I really do. I love the idea of turning over the figure four. It looks like he's pooping out Tully right there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's pooping Tully out. Now let's take a wide shot.
Look at all the fans, man.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Tony, we should address some big news that happened over the weekend.
Oh, brother.
Ozzy Osbourne played his last concert. He's done his last performance with Black Sabbath. It was over in England. There's a lot of people talking about it. Were you a big Ozzy fan at any point?
Only after the reality show started.
Oh, I got you. The Osbournes.
The Osbournes. I thought at the beginning I watched it, then I kind of got tired of it, but I thought he was very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Black Sabbath, no, not really. To me, I have some other bands I like better.
What do you expect to see this weekend, Tony? Is Goldberg going to win the big gold belt from Gunther on Saturday night's main event?
I don't know. I'm going to be busy. Don't care.
It's in Atlanta.
Still don't care.
I was just making conversation, bud. I'll let you carry it from here. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to carry it from here. I don't want to talk about those jackasses.
I was talking about Goldberg and WCW, man. He's winning a knockoff big gold belt. I'm not trying to plug their thing. I'm asking.
Gunther over Gunther. Back in the 70s and 80s, Gunther would have been a Nazi character, right?
Yep.
That's what it have been back then. Look at him get up on the cage here.
You think a Nazi character could work in 2025?
No, not at all.
What do you think changed between back then and now?
Time heals all. Not only that, most everybody who fought in World War II is, very, very old or no longer with us. And it's
Isn't
just
it interesting though, just all the racist shit that used to happen in wrestling,
oh yeah.
Even like a Japanese heel, they always had to sneak up on somebody. It's a little silly.
Yeah, it is. But it's the way of the times. I mean, the world has changed. And Dusty just wins by the pile driver. And
there it is. Look at the crowd, man.
Yeah. The Baby Doll I think Baby Doll slipped Tully a glove or something, but he wasn't able to hit it. Yeah, and she's upset. No.
She's not happy that she's got to go with Dusty now. By the way, Yambag Jones is with us, and he says it's almost like Triple H works for AEW at this point, booking Oldberg in 2025 against AEW's biggest show of the year. He's an undercover spy. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but
if you want to play that game, Yambag, Yambag, you can. It has nothing to do with anything.
By the way, not only has Dusty won the rights to Baby Doll services, he's also the new television champion. And you see them kidnapping a woman here. Oh yeah, that is Buzz Tyler. Yeah. Man, what a fucking fun show this is. The crowd was really into it. The heat for that Russian match was great. The main event with Dusty and Tully was great, but right now it looks like it's about that time.
And ladies and gentlemen, Conrad Thompson puts a reverse figure four on, and he's pooping Dave Silva. Pooping Dave Silva. Dave, does that make you giggle? Thank God we are out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When. Each and every Monday we come to you ad-free and only on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.
There's Dave Silva turd right there.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.